Hi guys, so it's a Royal Rumble again this Saturday. You know what that means. It's time, but we got together and put our little nerd hats on and started to kind of theorize about what could go down here, what surprises we could have here, what predictions we could have here, and yeah, let's get this started, and I'll kind of run through obviously what my predictions for the outcomes of all of these matches are, as well as like little maybe like surprise entrants that maybe we could get at the Royal Rumble, and what this always could mean kind of going forward as well. And I'll kind of like run through it based on kind of how I think that also how the match card is going to be as well. So kicking off, I think that this will kick off with the women's Royal Rumble. That's usually the case here. We have the Women's Royal Rumble open and the Men's Royal Rumble closing. I'm not as confident about it this time because I think that the retirement match between AJ Styles and Gunther kind of throws a bit of a spanner in the works. I spoke about this on a previous video where I think it's going to kind of create a little bit of a booking problem with how I think a lot of people are anticipating this bit of that match playing out, that it's going to kind of maybe suck the air out of audience maybe, and if they don't have it as a main event, or then it's sort of a question of, will the audience be able to pick themselves up enough for the following matches. I'm not as confident, but I'm gonna stick with my gut instinct here. I'm gonna go that they are going to stick with the tried and tested formula of having a Royal Rumble open and then closing the event. So with the Women's Royal Rumble, I think that there's going to be some of the surprise entrants I think we could see here is I think there's been these reports that Paige is in training, so I think that having Paige make a return here is absolutely on the table. I think we will see the return of Bianca Belair here. Who up until recently, my prediction was that Bianca Belair was not only going to return, but she would be my odds-on favourite to win this, because I think that the end game of that is to set up a feud and a title match between her and Jade Cargill. But ultimately, I'm going to go with over, based on the fact that a couple of weeks ago we had Liv Morgan taking the pin in the Judgment Day's match against Rio. I can only figure that the only reason they would have Liv Morgan taking the pin here over Roxanne Perez is the fact that they've got something big planned for Liv Morgan. And I think that we've got this whole like little tease about the dismantling of the Judgment Day, and we've had, since Liv Morgan has returned, she's being given kind of Raquel Rodriguez the Evils. Raquel Rodriguez has this title match lined up on Raw against Stephanie Valquer. I think it's very plausible that she's going to dethrone Stephanie Valquer here. So I think that Liv Morgan winning the Royal Rumble here could prove that segue. Do you know what I mean? I think that it could end up this could be be another little planting of a seed to break up the Judgment Day and have Liv Morgan turn on Raquel Rodriguez and starting off and her going after that title after Raquel Rodriguez has dethroned Stephanie Valquer. I think that is absolutely a play here. So yeah, that's my prediction for the Women's Royal Rumble. I think that Liv Morgan is going to win here. So let's get kind of a big one out of the way. We have the retirement match here between Gunther and AJ Styles. And I said on the previous video that this feels like a bit of a lose-lose in a way, because I think that the match will be great. I think that we've got two great in-ring workers here. I'm not ready to say goodbye to AJ Styles' career here. Do you know what I mean? I think it is, in some ways on a personal level, AJ Styles had, saying goodbye to AJ Styles would hit me out even more than the John Cena farewell, and that might seem sacrilege. I'm not saying that AJ Styles has made a bigger splash than John Cena or anything like that. I'm not saying that at all. But just in my personal relationship with wrestling growing up, it's just AJ Styles has kind of like been more at the forefront of that. So it's just I'm not ready to say goodbye to him, but and I think look, there could always be a swerve, right? We could always have AJ Styles winning here, but I do think that the problem with that is it just doesn't deliver on Gunther being this big eater of worlds, this big, like, and it's not really a heel, but he's kind of like turning out to be. I feel he kind of doubled down on this for maybe particular reasons I'll get into a bit later. But I just think also if AJ Styles won, there would be that little bit of a relief, because we would be saying goodbye to AJ, and we just from a fan level, we want AJ Styles to continue on WWE for longer in the year, but I think that Gunther here losing creates a problem as well. So like I said, there's other things that have been kind of like lining up. We had Shinsuke Nakamura making a post apparently, and then that was deleted. I mean, that could all be a work, who knows? But the reports say AJ Styles' contract is up in February, so not kind of renewing it and him kind of bowing out. Kind of makes sense also from a business standpoint. Reluctantly, I'm kind of going for the obvious play here of Gunther winning and retiring AJ here, like I said, there's a part of me that hopes I'm wrong, but also there would be a part of me that would be a bit baffled as well if Gunther lost, you know what I mean? Because I was like, like I said, that when he retired John Cena, it sucked the air so much out that the general consensus across the fan base was like, the only thing that justifies it is if Gunther just comes out and just be this complete, absolutely like dominant force. It's a bit of a lose-lose in my opinion, but obviously I'm going for the obvious play here of Gunther just retiring AJ here. We have the match, also the World Heavyweight title match, also between Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn here. I'm not 100% because they could always do a survey. They could always put it on Sami Zayn. I mean, obviously you got it. It's in Royal Rumble is in Saudi Arabia, obviously. So Sami Zayn is going to be completely over during this match. And I think that for that reason, I think there's going to be a lot of close calls here. I think there's going to be a lot of 1-2 oohs here against Drew McIntyre. I think that we're going to have lots of moments here where Sami Zayn is going to come within a whisper of winning it. But ultimately, I do think that it's going to be a play where they are going to try and work the crowd to a point where they're going to pick them up and really elevate them just so they can knock them back down again. I do kind of see it going that way because I just don't think... I think that Sami Zayn's time is coming, but I just don't think it's now. I think that it's that I do think it kind of makes sense to, because they've taken this bold choice to have this Drew McIntyre title run, which I think was the right decision. I think that there needs to be more of experimentation in that. So I think if you're going to experiment with that, I think you need to have it kind of simmer for longer, I think. So I think that it's not the time to take a title off Drew McIntyre. I think you should probably keep it on him at least till WrestleMania now. So that's going to be my play. I think there's going to be a lot of real close calls here for Sami Zayn winning, but I think ultimately, Drew McIntyre is going to retain here. That moves into the main event with the Men's Royal Rumble. And honestly, this is a tougher one than I thought because we got so many powerhouses in here. Okay, so I think Obafemi is going to return here. Obviously he's been plugged to hell for the last month or so, how long it's been. And whenever somebody gets called up from NXT, you always get that obligatory push from here. But I can't remember a time that any NXT call-up has got so much push and so much promotion as Obafemi. They are really selling Obafemi like he's going to be this massive superhero is coming to so I think obviously they've got real big plans for Obafemi. So I think we could have I think we could have Chris Jericho making his appearance here as well. We're still not sure what is going to go, but I am expecting him to come out as one of the contenders. Another theory is that Chris Jericho is going to be this mystery person, and he's going to be more of like a heel manager kind of thing on Raw with the whole Adam Pearce and the Vision thing. I think maybe that could work, but I am expecting just Chris Jericho to make his return here, and that just seems the most obvious way of having him have his WWE return. So I think that we could have Chris Jericho making his return here. Obviously we've got loads of powerhouses here. We've got Bron Breakker confirmed here. He's an odds-on favourite to win. We've got Roman Reigns here coming in. I just think got Cody Rhodes. So it's really, really difficult because, again, similar to how it was like last year, where it was like with Roman Reigns, it's sort of like I don't think he's going to win it, but also it's hard to envision him getting eliminated either, but only I think it's going to be a toss-up between Obafemi or Bron Breakker. I think one of the two are going to win it. And again, similar to the women's, I'm going to make a last-minute change in my predictions here because I've always been saying that I think Obafemi will win it. Unless Bron Breakker is in it, in which Bron Breakker is winning, right? I think that it's going to be, but I think because we had that backstage segment with the Vision on Raw, where they had agreed that they were all going to work together to ensure that Bron Breakker wins it. I think it's leaning into that. I think WWE know that Bron Breakker is their favourite, and and they're leaning in, so they're kind of leaning into that to kind of try and make you believe that Bron Breakker is going to win it. And I think that's just, it seems such a obvious swerve to have him not win it. And then you can always just have Bron Breakker win the Elimination Chamber. So I'm going for Obafemi winning here. I think if Obafemi doesn't win, I think that he's going to pull in this like total Iron Man performance where he's going to get the most eliminations, like double digits even. I think the record for the most eliminations is 14, I think, or 15. I think we need to have him, near those kind of numbers if he doesn't win it. Just at least double digit eliminations, do you know what I mean? But yeah, just because of how much Bron Breakker is a favourite here, I think that there's an obvious swerve that they can make here. So I'm going to say that Obafemi is going to win here, and then I think I can have Bron Breakker have his moment at winning the Elimination Chamber, and that's his way into the WrestleMania scene. I think maybe we could even have Obafemi eliminate Bron Breakker. And I will lose my mind if that happens, right? Because I have been fantasy booking ever since the Obafemi call up about having Obafemi against Bron Breakker. I just think that is my fantasy booking, and that's why I want to see it. And I'm not, and I'm holding on to that, right? So yeah, let's have Obafemi and Bron Breakker maybe being the last two, and Obafemi eliminates Bron Breakker. Setting up that feud. By all accounts, we're going to have Gunther pulling double duty here as well. I think Brock Lesnar will be in this Rumble. I think you could potentially. There's been talk about maybe Brock Lesnar retiring in 2026. So I think that because Gunther is being built up as being this person to retire people, I think you could potentially have one of them eliminating the other here and setting up a feud maybe between Gunther and Brock Lesnar. I think that would be fantastic as well. I think that's another little seed you could plan for maybe a WrestleMania. Yeah, so I would kind of like maybe expect that as well. Yeah, I just but that's my pick. I'm going for Obafemi to win. So yeah. But those are my predictions for this year's Royal Rumble, guys. Please feel free to let me know down in the comment section about what your predictions are for this event. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, don't forget to ring a bell for notifications. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, I will see you guys on the next video. You guys take care.